also had some too.
Good evening, everyone.
It's just
Welcome.
interesting.
I'd like to call to order this regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting. It's November 19th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. Ms. Stokoe, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Coco?
Here.
Mr. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Here.
Ms. White?
Here.
Thank you. Item B is motion to approve the agenda. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the agenda of the November 19th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. Action by the Board of Education in adoption of a consent agenda means that all items are adopted by one singular motion unless a member of the Board of Education, treasurer, or superintendent requests that any such item be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Stokoe, please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Item C is our opening ceremony. First is our informational items. This meeting is a meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not a public community meeting, although there are opportunities for public participation. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic found on the meeting agenda, the individual must complete a registration form found inside the attendance notebook and present it to the treasurer. Following the introduction of the topic by the board president, followed by board discussion, the individual will be recognized. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic not found on the meeting agenda, she or he must notify the superintendent and/or board president of the topic no later than 3 business days in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In both cases, the individual will preface comments by an announcement of his or her name and address and limit comments to 3 minutes. All statements should be directed to the board president. No person may address or question board members individually. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device at the address shown on the screen. And for your convenience, hard copies of the board agenda may be found on the table by the sign-in book. The next special meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education is November 20th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library. The next Finance Committee meeting is November 25th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. at the Board of Education offices, 405 Talmadge Avenue. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education is December 10th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library. And now for our Pledge of Allegiance and welcome, Dr. Salika.
Thank you. Good evening. Please stand for the pledge, if able. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Our vision, Cuyahoga Falls City School District, the hub of our community, committed to a culture of caring. We innovate, we create, we personalize education for all. Our mission is every student, every day, every opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Selico. Item D is presentations. Item 1 is awarding of an honorary diploma. It is recommended that the Board of Education grants an honorary Cuyahoga Falls High School diploma to the following individual: John Carroll.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
So the board recently changed its policy to allow us to award honorary diplomas to folks that previously attended our district and for whatever reason were not able to graduate. And this is our first person that we are able to award an honorary diploma to. And unfortunately, they're not able to be here tonight, but their family's going to celebrate them with a graduation party at another time. So we're very excited for this person.
Yeah, thank you to the board for considering. What you did was a great thing and much appreciated by the family. So thank you for considering that.
Ms. Stokoe, please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye. Item 2 is our Friend of Education Award. I'd like to call up Mrs. Schaefer.
Okay, I have no notes. Well, I guess I do have a little bit. The Friend of Education Award is a board award given to a non-employee of the district. And the person that was nominated for this award is Mr. Mike Horgan. If you would like to come up and join me. I am not used to being on a microphone. That's Mike Horgan has been the chaperone chair, the vice president, and the president of IMPE. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I spoke with some of his cohorts in the IMP. If you're not aware, the IMP is the Instrumental Music Patrons, and they are a parent organization that supports the instrumental music program here, not only just in the high school, but in all the other buildings of Cuyahoga Falls City School District. Some of his people have described him as an integral part of the instrumental music patrons for many years. And he is loyal, hardworking. He works behind the scenes and gives many of his own hours to help things run smoothly. He always does it with high energy and amazing attitude, which is true. Believe it or not, sometimes I don't know where to go or what to do sometimes when I'm volunteering. I like to show up, but I don't always know what to do. And he's never made me feel stupid or out of place. He always finds a job for you to do, and he never has made me feel stupid. Always with a smile. Hi, I don't know where you get your energy from. So, do we have a certificate? Oh, sorry. Oh, this is so nice. 2025 Cuyahoga Falls City School District Friend of Education Award in recognition for your contributions to our school district. Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to say something?
Those of you who know me know I'm usually not short on words. I do like to talk quite a bit, but I'm going to save that for another time. So, but thank you to the Board of Education, Dr. Selico, and everybody from the district. If you're a student here who hasn't taken up band as a extracurricular, go do it. It's a lot of fun. All right. So, thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Mr. Horgan. Next up, we have our Staff Star Award. I'd like to call up Ms. Bogdan.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Allison Bogdan. I'm the Director of Human Resources, and it is my honor every month to stand before you and recognize one of our own. It's called the Staff Shining Star Award, and every month we recognize somebody that has been nominated by a colleague. And this month we are recognizing a paraprofessional at the high school. But before we name this person, I'm going to bring up the people that nominated her, and they are Kathleen Davison, who's an IS at the high school. So come on up, Kathleen, and Jason Smith, the principal. Oh, they deserve a clapping. Yep. And the person that we are recognizing this month is Debbie Baker. She serves as a paraprofessional at the high school. Come on up here, Debbie. Who's going first?
I'll leave it off. 20 minutes or less. Okay. Got it.
This is Debbie.
So in addition, one of our staff members, Kristen Teller, nominated Debbie Baker as well. So I'm going to read what she wrote, and I know Kathleen has some things that she wants to cover. So Kristen says that she works with Debbie on a daily basis, watching her selflessly help our special needs students with patience, kindness, and care. She always stays steady, and students often ask her for help and seek her out. I admire her work ethic and dedication. While she is not the type of person that would ever seek recognition for her hard work, she certainly deserves to be recognized. And I can't, say it any better than that. I mean, Deb does so many things. She's incredibly dependable and just builds wonderful relationships with our kids. She's definitely just an incredibly valuable member of our high school staff. And I'm going to let Kathleen go ahead and take it from here.
Hello. So I'm an intervention specialist here at the high school, and it's my honor to speak about my friend and my coworker, Debbie Baker. Mrs. Baker and I started working together 25 years ago. We were both paraprofessionals. I left for a little bit to go get my teaching degree, and when I was done, we always said we would work together again, and we did. She spent a short time at Lincoln, but soon returned to the high school as my classroom aide, and we've been a team ever since. I can say with absolute honesty, and I could not do my job without Mrs. Baker. She's the definition of the perfect para. She's steadfast, dedicated, and always there for the school, our classroom, the staff, and especially our students. In the last 25 years, there isn't a single student who worked with Mrs. Baker who didn't walk away with more knowledge, more confidence, and a true sense of accomplishment. No matter the challenge, she works relentlessly to break the code of even our most complex learners. Debbie is the heart of our program, and I'm so grateful to have spent these last 25 years working beside her. No one is more deserving of this award than Mrs. Baker.
Dr. Selico goes out to surprise the winners of these awards, and they post a picture on our district Facebook, and there were several students in the picture with you, and the excitement for you on their faces is something that I will never forget, and that really shows the impact that you have on our students every day, so thank you.
Okay, I'd like to call up Mr. Gomez, and if Tammy Brown could come forward, please. She was not expecting this evening, but I know she's here.
Preston Elementary School earned the distinction of being a Purple Star School earlier this year, and we're very proud of Preston Elementary School. Unfortunately, when they were honored for this designation, they were given a certificate with the wrong school's name on it. As a Board of Education, we refused to stand for that. So we reached out and received a corrected certificate, and we wanted to correct the record tonight and honor Mrs. Brown and the Preston staff with a proper certificate that properly honors Preston Elementary School with a certificate of recognition for their Purple Star recognition for supporting military families.
Mr. Gomez, you can stay up there for a second, please. I'm going to come up. He doesn't know about this either. But surprise.
I wanted to take a minute to recognize and for our board to recognize Mr. Gomez. We as a board were at the Ohio School Boards Association convention this past week, earlier in the week. And Mr. Gomez has served on the OSBA Black Caucus. How many years have you served?
5 years.
For 5 years. And he was given this award at the OSBA conference for his service on the Black Caucus. And if you would like to speak a little bit about what the Black Caucus does, they're an amazing organization within OSBA?
So it's called the Black Caucus, but we represent all ethnically and culturally diverse students across the state of Ohio. And last year I served as the chair, and our initiative when I was chair was to speak about all the different things the 611 districts across the state of Ohio do to honor Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And we got together and just worked to catalog all of those different things for districts to try to diversify the things that they do. And each year the chair comes up with a different initiative. So that's what I did as chair last year.
So thank you. We just wanted to recognize you here for the community and just to thank you for everything that you do, not only for our district, but for students across Ohio. So this award was given to him. It's not by us, but everyone can see this amazing. And now, for the top Tigers, I'd like to call up Dr. Selico. I know that's what you've all been waiting patiently for.
Thank you, Ms. Coco. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, making sure you're all still awake. I wanted to, before we get started, I wanted to just mention that those of you who received awards tonight, that includes you, Mr. Gomez, will be getting photographs, so please don't leave, all right? All right, so how's everybody doing? Good? Excited? You should be. I'm excited. All right, so how many of you parents in the audience or family members in the audience first time getting this award for your child? Okay, first time? Anyone more than one time? The other child? All right, okay. Nice, some repeat customers. Great. All right, so Top Tiger, let me tell you a little bit about what this award is in case you aren't familiar. So it's an award given by our Board of Education, much like Mrs. Schaefer mentioned for the Friend of Education, to all students and from each building every month. So the students are chosen by various staff members in their buildings, and then I get that information and I get to have the pleasure of reading it to you this evening about what has been said about your children. So I need students to listen very carefully, all right, because we have to follow multiple step directions, all right? So when I announce your name, you're going to come forward. Some of you are going to weasel your way through here because it's like a little maze, and you're going to come stand right here, all right? I'm going to read about you as everyone looks at you, so no pressure, all right? And then Mr. Harris is going to help me this evening to give out some goodies. So we have some prizes for you this evening, including this great, some of you might see these in the community. I know when I drive through, I'm always looking to see Top Tigers, see where Top Tigers live. You can put this in a window or in your front yard, wherever you choose. And those are compliments of Mrs. Carlisle's here representing our union. So thank you, Mrs. Carlisle and the Teachers Union. We really appreciate them providing those for our students, so thank you. When we are done, well, let me say this. When you come up and you get all your prizes here, Mrs. Stewart, where are you going to be? Over here, Mrs. Stewart will be over here. We relocated. So you're going to walk across here, get your picture taken over there, all right? And then you can have a seat. You're going to wait because afterwards, when we're finished giving all of the awards, you're going to head over to the cafeteria where we could get one group photo, and families, you also have an opportunity to take pictures as well, all right? I'd also like to add that what you hear, as I mentioned here this evening about all of the different prizes, etc., that is those are given to us from generous community sponsors, and one of those is the Cuyahoga Falls School Foundation and Alumni Association, and we want to thank them as well as our partners who just continue to encourage our students to be the best that they can be. So at this time, I'm going to call forward Nikki Alden, and are you coming forward, Kathy, as well? All right. I don't know if you planned on it, but you are now because I introduced you, so come on up.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. My name is Nikki Alden. I'm proud to serve as a trustee on the Cuyahoga Falls Schools Foundation and Alumni Association. The foundation is one of the sponsors here tonight of the Top Tiger Award. And in addition to the Top Tiger Award, each year the foundation awards over $150,000 in student scholarships to for teacher grants for innovative classroom projects. And we also help connect the alumni by assisting with class reunions and their websites. Each May, we recognize 2 to 3 distinguished alumni and host a recognition program and reception. Maybe one day some of you will be some of our distinguished alumni. And all of our top Tigers are invited to walk with us in the Memorial Day Parade. So tonight, after the top Tigers from all the schools here have been recognized, you'll head across the hall to the cafeteria for your photo. And that photo does get posted on the school's district and media pages, so you can all keep an eye out for that. After the photo, we'll ask everybody to be seated, and then we also will have a Top Tiger t-shirt for everybody to receive, and each of you adults will receive a folder with information about the foundation, and to keep an eye on the foundation as your students get into high school and senior levels, to remember about those scholarships that we do offer. So on behalf of the Cuyahoga Falls Schools Foundation and Alumni Association, we congratulate all of the Top Tiger earners. This is a very special recognition, and we are proud of each and every one of you. And we do look forward to hopefully seeing you at the Memorial Day Parade with us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so I have to start with just confession. So today was really busy, and I have been running nonstop. It's just been one of those days, and so normally I practice the names a few times, but I didn't. So I need your help. So students, do not let me mispronounce your name. If I say it wrong, don't yell it and you screwed up, Dr. Selko. Just come up here and politely say no, my name is whatever, because your name is important, and I should be able to say that the right way. So please, I'm sorry I didn't have time to practice as much. But my assistant, Mr. Jones, does his little spellings as best he can. And sometimes I go back to the office, I go, Mr. Jones, that didn't really say that. And so, but I blame him all the time, so we're all good. Just kidding, he's wonderful. All right, so we're gonna get started. We started last time with our, Mr. and Mrs. White will get on me if I blame Mr. Jones. That's her buddy. That's her buddy. More than me. She'll defend him more before me, I think, so I don't know. See, great supportive board. All right. So I'd like to get started with our first, last month we started for the first time from our preschool students. And so this is a lot of pressure for my friend in preschool, because I gave lots of directions, but Miss Sabaticki's there, and I see Mom and Dad. They're going to help him out. Our first student's going to come forward is, you ready? Your sister's ready? Cairo Worthington. Come on forward, Cairo.
His sister's more excited.
I know, but he's cute as
His sister's so excited.
I saw Cairo in class today. He was doing great. Stay right there, Cairo. Turn around. Let everybody see that cute face. Okay, turn around. Yes. Ready? I know you're looking. Okay, ready, Cairo? Cairo is an incredibly friendly and outgoing student who brightens our school each day with his huge smile and positive attitude. He consistently demonstrates what it means to be both a great student and a caring friend. Cairo is always eager to participate in songs, dances, and classroom activities. He brings joy and enthusiasm to everything he does. He greets everyone with kindness, always saying hello to students and staff, and his cheerful spirit helps create a welcoming environment for all. Cairo is truly a joy to have at school, and we are so proud to celebrate him with this award.
But Dr. Selko, tell a secret. Who's the favorite in his family?
Well, she's looking right at me. There's my baby girl. Yep.
She knows too.
She knows. Look, you and me. Yeah, I'm known to steal her for a few minutes to snuggle time, because mine are grown and I missed that little stage. All right. Look, she's making her way. I mean, if you want to come up here, yes, come on up. All right. Our next student is from DeWitt. And this student is ready to come on up is Carson Morgan. Carson. Carson is a wonderful student and citizen. He is such an excellent student and has the highest level of integrity. He is so kind to all of his peers, and he treats others with the highest respect. Carson is a great role model. He works very hard on all his schoolwork, always eager to learn. He tries his best on all tasks and always puts forth his best effort. Congratulations, Carson. All right, our next student from DeWitt is Rosalind Vital. We would like to nominate Rosalind Vital for her outstanding, responsible, and respectful behavior in class. She consistently demonstrates maturity by completing assignments on time, following directions, and setting a positive example for her peers. Rosalind treats classmates and teachers with kindness and respect, contributing to a supportive and productive classroom environment. Her reliability and positive attitude makes her a role model for others and makes DeWitt a great place to learn. Good for you. All right, moving along to Lincoln. We have Aiden Massey. Hi, Aiden. All right. Aiden has all the qualities of a top tiger. He shows his best black tiger pride every day. He comes in with a smile on his face every day as well. You. He's like, that's it? I'm getting ripped off. No, I got more. All right. He is such an asset to our class. There, I got a smile. All right. He always tries his best and gets along with everyone and everyone. Anyone and everyone. We appreciate him being a good role model to his peers and is a great brother at home. Nice. He loves spending time with his family. We are so proud to have you as our top tiger. Congratulations, Aiden. All right, our next student is Avina Suba. Thank you. Avina is a shining star in 4th grade. Her grades are reflective of her hard work and determination. She is excelling in school while also maintaining strong and supportive relationships with her peers. Avina is consistently doing the right thing. She is the definition of black tiger pride. She is respectful to her teachers, follows directions when asked the first time, and is kind to everyone she meets. She does all of her homework and gets all of her assignments in on time. We know that Avina always sets a good example for her peers. Congratulations. All right. Moving along to Preston, we had a student from last month that I believe is here this evening, and that's Trinity Howard. No, not here. Okay. Oh, it's again. Okay. All right, Trinity. We'll try again. All right, and our next student is Avon Johnson. Okay. Principal Brown, roll for 2. Let's see if this one's going to come through. Ready? Kanchan Ramal. Kanchan? All right. I was getting nervous there. All right, right there. Kanchan is a top tiger in 5th grade at Preston Elementary. She is an excellent student who always puts forth her best effort. She is extremely helpful to her peers and her younger sister, demonstrating kindness and generosity. Kanchan is polite and respectful. She loves her culture and enthusiastically shares it with others. She is also a dedicated member of our dance team, and takes classes at the Himalaya Dance Academy. Keep up the great work. Congratulations. All right, moving along to Price. We have Babisha Damal. Babisha treats teachers and classmates with kindness and respect, always using polite words and actions. She takes responsibility by staying on task, completing assignments on time, and proactively offering help to others when needed. Babisha also practices safety by thoughtfully following all classroom rules and consistently making careful choices. Her infectious positive attitude and exceptional teamwork make her a wonderful role model for others and a student we are proud to nominate for this award. Congratulations, Mary. All right, our next Price student is Jacob Kessler. It's a long walk, huh? You made it through the maze. Good job. All right. Jacob has had a fantastic start to the school year. He's shown remarkable growth in the classroom, especially in math, where his level of understanding and participation have improved. His self-confidence has noticeably increased since the beginning of the year, and he demonstrates that growth daily. Outside of his performance in the classroom, Jacob sets a great example for his peers. Jacob always comes to class prepared, ready to learn, and treats both teachers and classmates with kindness and respect. We are proud to have Jacob represent the 5th grade class at Price Elementary. Good job, And we had a student from last month as well, Aaron Ramal. Is Aaron here? Oh, you're here. Yay. Hey, Aaron. Hey, congratulations. All right. Aaron stands out as a true leader, guiding his peers not with words, but through his actions. His leadership shines in every class, from the physical education classroom, where he encourages everyone to do their best, to the music room, where he's always ready to share his passion for rhythm and melody. In art, he consistently tries his best and shows respect for everyone's creativity. Aaron demonstrates what it means to make the right choices, whether it's helping a classmate with a difficult problem or taking the initiative to clean up after an activity without being asked. His positive attitude and unwavering commitment to doing the right thing make him a student to look up to and an inspiration for the leaders of tomorrow. Congratulations, Nice. All right. Moving along to Richardson, we have Madeline Garcia Cruz. Maddie, right, we go by Maddie? We got it. Maddie demonstrates kindness, gentleness, and a caring attitude towards others. She consistently shows respect for teachers and fosters an inclusive environment for her peers. Maddie takes ownership of her learning by maintaining focus during class and completing her assignments in a timely manner. She truly embodies the spirit of a Cuyahoga Falls Black Tiger, showing determination and a commitment to excellence. Maddie's unwavering dedication inspires those around her, making her a remarkable role model for her peers. Congratulations. All right, our next student from Richardson is Mikshen Fago. Mikshen is an exceptionally kind and compassionate student who actively includes his peers. He embodies Black Tiger pride through his commitment in taking responsibility for his own learning every day. Mikshen consistently listens attentively in class, engages in discussions, and completes assignments in a timely manner. He has a passion for soccer and is a regular participant in Richardson's Gaga Ball Pit. Nice. Showcasing his enthusiasm for teamwork and play. You don't hit anybody real hard with the ball, do you? Good, that would not be Black Tiger pride. Okay. Mikshen stands out as a proud member of the Cuyahoga Falls Black Tiger every day. Those Gaga ball pits could be a little scary. I've seen the kids playing. All right. Next school, Silver Lake, Janessa Gilmer. Okay, Janessa is a student who exemplifies what it means to be a top Tiger. She comes to school ready to learn, respectful, and determined to do her personal best. Janessa approaches challenges with persistence and a positive attitude. She gives her full effort even when the work feels difficult. Her strong work ethic and desire to set a good example make her a role model within our classroom community. What makes Janessa especially admirable is the way she already sets goals for her future and works towards them with maturity and determination. Even as a fourth grader, she is laying a strong foundation for her own success through her dedication and drive. Good for you. And our final student from Silver Lake. Oh, I bet I can guess. The cameras are ready. You ready? I saw you crimping your hair earlier because you knew you were going to be in some photos. Just kidding. All right, Alan Hudson, come on up. All right. Alan is a student who truly embodies what it means to be Black Tiger proud. He consistently shows respect, responsibility, and care for both his classmates and his learning environment. Alan takes pride in helping others and often goes above and beyond what is expected. He takes the initiative to make sure our classroom is clean and organized at the end of every single day, not just for himself, but so everyone can learn and feel comfortable. Nice. He looks out. Can you come and do my office tomorrow, maybe? Around 10 o'clock, I won't be there. You could just tidy up, all right? We'll make it work. We'll send a bus. All right. He looks out for his peers, encourages fairness, and demonstrates integrity in his actions. His work ethic, kindness, and genuine desire to make our classroom a better place make him an exceptional role model and a truly deserving top Tiger. Congratulations. All right. We're moving on to our middle school. And our first student is Leela Rose Gregory. Leela embodies the very essence of what we hope to see in our students, a remarkable combination of honesty, compassion, and leadership. She has consistently demonstrated an extraordinary work ethic that sets her apart from her peers. As a role model to fellow students, Leela has shown the remarkable ability to maintain a positive and encouraging attitude in all situations. Outside of the classroom, Leela is a member of the cross-country and track teams, and she plays flute in the middle school band. The 8th grade team is proud to nominate Leela for Top Tiger as she represents the very best of what a student can be. Hardworking, compassionate, and committed to personal growth and supporting others. Very nice. Good for you. And our second student from the middle school is Eli Mitchell. Eli is an awesome Black Tiger at Cuyahoga Falls Middle School. In class, he is attentive and participates in class. He completes his assigned work well as he strives to do his best. He works well in class and within a group. Eli enjoys the science fiction genre, riding his bike, and would like to visit Japan. Wow, very specific. After graduation, Eli is considering a career as a chef with the goal of owning his own restaurants. You can come by also tomorrow and just cook me something up for lunch. I got it all set. I'm going to have a better day tomorrow, board. Today was pretty rough. Looking forward to tomorrow. We are lucky to have Eli in our classrooms every day. Congratulations. All right, moving on to our big kids at the high school. Our first student is Klaus Austin. And those of you who saw the Crucible might have noticed somebody, right? Did a great job. I really enjoyed the play. All right, beyond their academic prowess, Klaus demonstrates an outstanding work ethic and a positive attitude. They are highly involved in the school's musical performance, as I just gave you a little plug there. Yet they manage their time diligently, ensuring all assignments are completed promptly. Klaus's commitment to staying ahead of their classwork, even when absent, is a testament to their dedication and self-discipline. Klaus is an exemplary student who embodies the spirit of Top Tiger. We are confident that they will continue to achieve great things. Thank you, Klaus, for being such a fantastic student at Cuyahoga Falls High School. And our last student of the evening, let's see, She knows where she is. Lily Rowan?
She was home.
You here? Ah. Were you gonna keep me going? You weren't gonna help me out there? And you knew it was you, right? Okay. All right, Lily. All right. It is my honor to nominate Lily Rowan for this month's Top Tiger. Lily has been a role model of a mathematics student throughout her high school career. Her math teacher, Miss Spape, has had the chance to see Lily grow from geometry to math modeling and reasoning this year. Along with being an exceptional student, Lily is also a great personality to be around. She can always be counted on to engage in group discussions and add something to the conversation. Additionally, Lily is involved with several extracurricular activities and was even nominated this year's Homecoming Queen. I didn't even put that together. Yay. All right. She embodies, yep, you can give her a round of applause. We'll give her 2 rounds. Did you bring your crown? No crown?
The
All right.
king's here
We'll
tonight,
take your word
too.
for it. No, I'm kidding. All right. She embodies what it means to be a top Tiger, and we look forward to what her future holds beyond Cuyahoga Falls High School. Congratulations.
Dr. Falco, you know, he was the king.
The king, Dorian.
Oh,
Yeah,
who was the king?
Dorian was the home.
Oh, yeah, Dorian. All right, you want, oh, look, he's getting red back there. All right, Dorian. Look, oh, don't hide.
Oh, he's hiding. Yeah.
All right. Whew. All right, well, that concludes that portion. Wonderful news to report. I read through these things, you just kind of beam with pride, as you all should be, as families and parents of these students. The adjectives that we hear over and over: respectful, hardworking, responsible, all the things that we really embody in our Black Tiger Pride. So congratulations to our students and congratulations to families. So we need to have a round of applause for all of you. And to our staff, if you're here this evening to support our students, being an evening away from your families perhaps, if you could just raise your hand, and we want to applaud our staff members for being here. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to see all of you. We're going to head across to the cafeteria. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Good job.
Move on to our next presentation. Item 5, the CFHS Program of Studies. To call up Mr. Smith and Mrs. Dudance.
President Coco, Board of Education, thank you for having us here for what might be my last board presentation ever. It was suggested while you were taking pictures that I do a song and dance routine, but I didn't have time to get ready. So.
We'll think of another presentation.
Thank you.
Don't say things like that. Give us ideas.
So we will be brief tonight. You have your copy of the Board of the program study changes and highlights, and we don't have a lot of them with so many things going on, moving into a new building. We did have some more suggestions from teachers, and when we reviewed with Mrs. Hausman, there were a few that we decided, let's wait another year and get into the new building and that sort of thing. But we do have a few things that we're excited about. We have Michelle Wright, who's one of the current math teachers at the high school, has been certified as an adjunct professor for Kent State University. So she would like to offer an introductory statistics class, which is a College Credit Plus course, and that is a 4-credit course. So we will see, we currently have a really robust offering for our AP statistics, and so we're hoping that we have enough students for this CCP course and to still be able to offer the AP course. So we'll have to kind of see how that goes. We are also adding introduction to computer technology, and that is an addition. We currently offer a class called Computer Apps, and it's pretty full, but this particular course is going to be part of a CTE pathway to help lead to Mr. Ely's current career tech program. And then the last addition that we're proposing is a painting course. So you may remember that the Exploration of Art course covers various media. And so they want to be able to focus. We used to have, and then we had a class called Drawing and Painting, and then that's kind of come away, and so this is really just focused on that painting. So those are the courses that we would humbly ask that you would consider allowing us to add.
Yep, and then, some of the changes that we can go over. We went through and updated all the links for the current board policies, making sure that those are all up to date and accessible. There's been a slight change to flex time, the late start, early release, just because the definition of that has been changed. That really is primarily for our seniors who either have like a first period or a 7th period study hall, and that they're meeting all requirements for graduation and some other requirements that we've kind of established here at the high school. There's some new legislation around the College Credit Plus that requires that we allow students to notify us by November 1st of their intention to take CCP classes if they want to take them in the spring, rather than sticking with the April 1st deadline for all CCP courses for the upcoming year. And then we've had some changes. Some of it are name changes. Some of them are just adding additional opportunities, maybe for a course to be taken at an earlier level. So we have a change in our history of art. If you'll notice there, it's moved from the group level 1 course to a level 2 course in there, the art area there. Math, there's a change to the name. For the course that's currently called Mathematical Modeling and Reasoning, that has been renamed by the state, and that will be called Advanced Quantitative Reasoning, as far as from what they've provided us. Music, the change there is AP Music Theory. We were just kind of hoping to add that on to the freshmen and sophomores to make that available for them to take as well. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. That's highlighted on the changes I gave you tonight. That was a late to the game change, and everything had already been printed. So that's the only change is that course offering, or the grade level.
So, and again, with that AP Music Theory, students have taken the course previously, although it has not been reflected kind of in the program studies. The change may encourage more younger students to kind of take the course. Physical education, again, just a couple name changes there. Currently, we have what we call Lifetime Fitness 1 and 2, and we're looking to change that to Weight Training 1 and 2. Just a name change only. Everything within the course stays the same. We feel that name reflects a little better what that curriculum addresses. Physical education 2, team sports, that's one class. We're hoping to change that to physical education 2, just sports. So drop the team, again, just a change in name only, no changes to the curriculum. And then with science, physical science was returned as a core course for our freshmen in the 2025-2026 school year this year. We did have 3 sections of honors biology for freshmen that met specific criteria. For the 2026-2027 school year, we will continue to offer honors biology to a group of freshmen who qualify, and then add biology back in as a core course, as that will be a sophomore level course.
And that is all we submit for your approval. Questions or concerns?
I have a couple. On page 4, I would suggest taking out the portrait of a black tiger, because you know we're going through the process. So by the time
Okay.
next school year comes around, we know that won't be the one we're using. And that would just be a suggestion. And then on 5, I would just highlight Miss Cindy Hardy. We don't know who will be replacing her yet, but
That's a good point.
know Miss Hardy won't be back because she's earned her retirement with us. More than earned. She got more years than she had to get. And then on page 7, this is my fault because I never noticed it before. But in courses that have a end of course exam, they don't have to take exams?
That's correct. So what we have done is, to reduce the amount of testing, we started doing, for midterm exams, we're doing the readiness assessments, which I think you've heard Mrs. Hausman speak of. And then at the end of year, they're kind of their reward for having to go through the grueling preparation for the test. We have not given them an exam just in those classes that have the end of course.
And then on the changes to the delayed start early release, says the preceding quarter is used to determine eligibility, which makes sense for a lot of it. And then it can be removed at any time if a problem occurs. Is it automatically removed if they have more than 5 tardies in that quarter, and or if they get an office referral in that current quarter?
We usually follow up in the following quarter. So we kind of look at it at each 9 weeks, and we use the data from the previous. So as far as like the immediacy, only if it's like a matter that we feel needs to immediately be removed. Otherwise, we pull the data kind of the 9 weeks, and then we pull the students in that we need to confer with, because then it's a change in their schedule and things like that.
Well, just in terms of, and I don't know if this is even a problem, but I would just think that if somebody has delayed start and then is coming tardy to that delayed start, that you would want to immediately make a change, because obviously that delayed start is not being effective use. So I just wanted to bring that up. And then 2 more things. Rotary Scholars, do we still do Rotary Scholars? It's on page 15.
Thank you. There we go.
I know we certainly don't do the Rotary Scholar evening like we used to when I was doing it.
Okay.
Because I haven't been invited to it in 8 years on being on the board. Or
Okay,
seen it on
well,
a district calendar.
You would have been invited. So,
So I'm not sure if we do that or not.
so we will confirm that that
Okay.
is not happening.
You remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in world languages, are our middle, since we're offering Spanish in middle school, is there gonna become a time that our 9th graders are eligible to then take Spanish too?
Yep, so the students who are taking Spanish 1 as 8th graders this year will then, you're right, we did not reflect that for
Okay.
9th grade. So thank you, that's a good catch.
That's all I had. Thank you for your work.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions or concerns we can address?
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
That brings us to item 6, Dr. Selico, open enrollment.
Thank you, Ms. Coco. If you don't mind, I'll just stay here. So I wanna go back actually in time. Let me first say this, the reason that we're, bringing this to your attention this evening, and this is really, has been a team effort. Members of my team have really helped pull this information together. If you recall in our report to the state regarding our, financial caution, right, precaution report, we noted that there were several things that we would look at, to help, reduce cost and to, try to make us a little bit more solvent, right, in our forecast. So one of those things, among them, as we know, were the school closing, but another one of them was, looking at our open enrollment. So, the team and I have, really taken a lot of time to look at some information that I wanna share with you this evening. But the reason I wanna go just a little bit back in time is, when I was being hired here, which is now 3.5 years ago, through the interview process, a number of questions, it's always interesting, I always pay attention to the questions that people ask. And so from the parent group, from the community group, there were several, or I don't know if there were several questions, but there was definitely more than one, and in informal conversations, open enrollment was brought up a lot. So I'm like, okay, this must be an interesting topic, or at least a topic that people find, of interest and wanna know my position on it. And frankly, coming from a different county my entire career, there aren't open enrolled, there wasn't open enrollment, there isn't still to this day, I think, in any districts in Cuyahoga County, with the exception of one that does a tuition. But nonetheless, I wasn't really familiar with it and what it all entailed. Now that I've been here, I see all of what goes into open enrollment, the impacts, the effects, of it. And so what I'd like to do, I'm gonna share with you a variety of data points, many of which are not relevant to, the very end, which is looking at the financial impact of open enrollment. But I do feel it's important because I've been asked numerous times, whether it's by staff or parents or even sometimes community members, asking about, the difference, if you will, between open enrolled and resident students. And what I think they're asking is, around some buckets that I always look at are discipline, achievement, and attendance. Those are the big three that we're always looking at for all of our students, and even in our early warning indicators. So if I were to, and we did, look at the information, I actually looked at it after I got hired back in 22, more out of curiosity because I had heard people's beliefs, but I wanted to verify, or at least, kind of address if there were some preconceived notions. I just wanted to learn for myself. And so in looking at those three areas back in 22, we took, I believe it was from 21, 22, we looked at performance in ELA, English Language Arts, and math, and then we compared open enrolled to resident students. We looked at achievement then, and we also looked at attendance. Back then, we weren't tracking habitually truant. We were looking at more of the average days that students were absent. And then I also looked at, back then, the discipline average referrals. We didn't look at suspensions or expulsions, which is what we did this time. But last time we looked at the discipline average referrals. And just in a nutshell, in 21, 22, it's not much different than where we landed in just last year's data. But we do have a rather, in all of those categories, I would say a substantial or significant difference in performance in ELA and math for all students, and that's on the Ohio State tests. It ranges from anywhere from 7% to 16%, depending on which subject you're looking at. But so I think there's double-digit differences in a lot of those areas. The average attendance was also an area in which there was some difference. Back then, when we were looking at average days, there was a 4-day difference average between the students groups, and then also now looking at the habitually absenteeism rate, we do have a substantial difference of a 7.7% difference between open enrolled and resident students, with resident students being here more often, more frequently.
Is that based on last year's data?
Yeah, this one is from 24, 25. We didn't look at this year because clearly we don't have a whole year's data.
Is habitually absent or truant, is that the threshold at which we didn't allow those people to come back?
Yeah, that's,
So
Yeah.
that 7.7% doesn't exist because we didn't allow any of those families to come back this year?
for this year,
Okay.
right.
So that's not really,
Well, no,
at this point,
well,
those families aren't even here.
right. So that's why, we had to do last year because it was a complete year of data, which is why we looked at it. So that was 7.7% difference. It was a total of 17.2% of students that were habitually absent. So that was
Of
just.
open enrolled,
Yes.
and they're not here now, now.
Those
because
students
we
are not
didn't-
here this year.
We didn't allow them back.
That's correct. Because we, for people who are listening, we changed our policy last year to reflect attendance as a determining factor if students can return to the district. If they have excessive absenteeism, which is called habitually truant, we didn't allow them to come back. All right, so, again, just looking at, giving you some data, 24-25, and again, this is last year's numbers. We had 412 open enrolled students, so that open enrolled comprised 12% of our district, whereas this year we're down to 279, which is 8% of our district. And the reason for some of those discrepancies, Mr. Gomez, is one of which you just described, students that were habitually truant. But also another factor is if a student is suspended for 10 days in a row, so they have to be consecutive, or they are expelled from school, they no longer qualify for open enrollment the next year. Unfortunately, every year, that typically tends to happen where we have some students that get in, serious trouble and are not able to come back. And then if, we broke them down by number of students by grade level. This year, we don't have any first graders because we didn't allow open enrolled in kindergarten. We didn't take any new. But we have a bulk of our students, a good number in 10th and 11th grade. And
So we don't have any kindergarten or first graders,
Yeah,
correct?
that's correct. And then 3rd, 4th, 5th, we have quite a few in that category as well. So the suspensions, I looked at this year, I had asked for the data on suspensions and expulsions for 24-25, and the open enrolled and versus resident students, there was no significant difference. Discipline was pretty equal across the board, the number of students being expelled or suspended. So,
Is this based on their total population of open enrolled versus total population of resident?
that's correct.
But can we talk about what number of open enrolled students we're
Yep.
talking about?
Yes. I might have to pull it. I have it in another document. It would take me a minute.
Because it's,
Do
well, I
you have
think
that, Deb?
last year it was 412, this year it's 279.
Yeah,
And then
279 is
resident
definitely
was
right.
3,054 last year, this year it's 3,187. But when we think about of statistics,
Mm-hmm.
the numbers and percentages are always gonna be larger in a smaller data field versus a larger data field.
Well, I look at the proportionality. So in other words, we divide so if there's 279 students and 17 students are whatever that may be, you take the 17 divided by the 279, not the total enrollment of the district.
Yeah,
So it gives
but
a
you're
proportion.
working with a smaller.
Yes,
So,
a
and
smaller number
statistics,
size.
That's why, for statistical validity, you always wanna work with a larger sample size.
Yeah, 279 is a pretty decent sample size, I guess, but yeah.
For a survey, it would not be considered a valid survey.
Well, if there were 300 people, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. Well, that's how we did it, because that's what we have, so. And then, but we did definitely account for, I think, what you're saying with the proportionality, because it's not fair, you have to base it on, the percentage based on the number of students you have in either category. Okay, so habitually the habitual absenteeism, again, that's the one that I noted was a difference there between open enrolled and resident. And that's not necessarily uncommon, probably in most districts that have open enrolled. I'm surmising in that when I sit with families of open enrolled students, and as you are aware, I sat with maybe 10 seniors last year and we're trying to make exceptions for our seniors, and pleading their case to me that they would improve their attendance. And I've been monitoring those students, but a lot of it was around transportation. That seemed to be the challenge or the barrier for families. But, so that may be very well, they're coming from longer distances, and weather, jobs, all those things could impact it. So our absence intervention plans, which go hand in hand with habitual absenteeism, again, there was a difference, marked difference there. 8.4% of our open enrolled students were on absence intervention plans, whereas 2.5% of residents were on those plans.
Do we have to, because we know these the students that are no longer here because of absentee issues. I know we're not that far, we're not even halfway through the school year, but I'm wondering what it looks like this year with the open enroll students we have.
Well, the law changed,
Is that,
And we don't do,
so we don't have to do the attendance
AIPs
plans anymore.
anymore.
Not saying we still don't send out reminders, we have to do it now at 5% of the
No,
year, we have to send a
technically
postcard.
We aren't required by law to do the absence intervention plans. We still do the absence intervention plans. And now we are essentially monitoring chronic absenteeism, which is, as a total, 10% of the school year, which for us is about 17 days for the calendar year. But now we're required to send notices to parents at 5%. In essentially warning them that their child is currently at 5%, and there's no real, like, we sent out quarterly these notices, so there's no real timeline as to when they have to be out, but we have to have evidence that we have sent this information out to our families. In terms of the chronic absenteeism versus the habitual truancy, it's a different measure.
okay,
It's a completely different measure. So we're talking habitual is 30 hours in a week, 42 hours in a month, or 72 hours for the entire year. And the other pretty significant difference is the chronic absenteeism rate is a report card measure, where the habitual truancy rate is based off of House Bill 410, which is the law that says we have to do some sort of intervention regarding attendance. So we're still required to do those interventions. The board has a part of the policy around the absence intervention that tells us that we have a connection with Summit County Juvenile Court. And so in order for us to then develop that relationship, part of that is we have to have some sort of measure as to when we are going to file for truancy or when we're going to file for failure to send. So that is still that habitual mark. So at that point, we're using that mark to determine when we're making those filings. And so we still need a plan, because when we submit for that particular truancy or failure to send, it should include our plan of intervention, which is that absence intervention plan. Now, that was the long explanation.
I know. No, thank you for that, I appreciate it. It's, just as it relates specifically to the presentation and open enrollment, like, well, those students weren't allowed to come back. But I actually went to a session at the Capitol Conference on open enrollment. And the biggest concern, one of the biggest concerns that the district who put on the presentation was absenteeism. And it was around transportation, and they were coming from longer distances, they weren't getting bused. So I was just wondering out loud, just because these students were not allowed to come back, is this a continual problem? And we know it goes hand in hand with student achievement as well. If they're not in the building, they're not learning. So is this something from one year to the next that would continue to be as high of a proportion just due to the fact that it's a longer distance and the transportation's an issue?
So I will tell you that part of the process of addressing changing board policy, where we looked at attendance as a measure to determine, continued open enrollment, I went through a study, in most cases, at least 4 years for every one of those students to look at the patterns of behavior in terms of attendance. And in the majority of those, it wasn't an anomaly in 1 year. Those individuals that it was a 1-year anomaly, or there was something that we missed in terms of why the student may have been absent for, and met the threshold, we addressed those, and we essentially allowed individuals to appeal those decisions. So not every individual in 1 calendar year, 1 school year, that met the threshold was automatically denied. We gave them another opportunity outside of the 8 to 10 seniors that Dr. Selico and Rebecca Miller are still have that, we still have a group of individuals who, you know, maybe they took a vacation at the wrong time of the year and, you know, they missed, you know, 5 or 10 consecutive days. But the year prior, they had no absences that met any threshold or even went back further. You know, we reconsidered those and allowed them to stay. But there were some that when we looked, 3-4 years, they had absences that well exceed any threshold that was out there at the time based on the law. So as of right now, you know, the ones that we're following everyone, of course, but the ones that I guess, reviewing more often are those individuals who were on the radar from last year. They would be considered, you know, for re-enrollment for the following year.
So the answer is yes, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't mean to railroad. I just
No.
That's okay.
was wondering.
And just to this point, one of the things I would support as we're talking about open enrollment and policy, I think something we should consider putting in policy is requiring people that want to open enroll to have to submit some sort of answer as to what their transportation plan is. So that it comes from the board, and I don't think it needs to be a detail, but I think it should be part of the application. If we're going to keep open enrollment, they should have to answer, what is my transportation plan? So that they know we're, one, serious about how you're getting your kid to school. It's not just, I want my kid to go to this district, but they need to be thinking from the moment they're applying, how am I gonna get my kid there every day? And that's part of the application, and we can then consider that as part of their application as well. So that's one thing I'd like us to think about as we go through that. And it's just specific to this part of the discussion, so, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the next portion, talking about is a little tricky. We spent a lot of time in cabinet discussing, you know, there's lots of ways you look at capital, right? So human capital is one, you know, resources and expenditures is another, and in the cost to have whatever it may be. In this instance, we're talking about open enrollment. So the team looked, we really hashed this out a number of times. And so what we were looking at, the human capital that's expended on really any students, but in this instance, again, open enrollment, there's really 3 departments that are probably impacted the most, and that's student services, special education, and the treasurer's department. And so when you're looking at, I took 2 different years worth, and there's a reason for that. So if looking at this year, so we have 279 students, and our registrar estimates that on average, it's about an hour per family to register them. And so that equates to 279 hours of the registrar's time. And this year as well, special education students, we have 39 students with disabilities. And as you may know, why it takes, it's a large time investment is because there could be related services. We have to do testing. We have to write the IEPs. We could have speech and language, OT, PT, related services team, the psychologist, the teacher writing all the documents. So there's, you know, a lot of time that's invested, and we're happy to do it, but there is, just to, again, let you know, the time invested is about 1,100 hours for the 39 students that we have. And again, that can vary.
There's a question from Ms. Stoikoi. We bill that back to their home district, don't we?
Those, yeah, their
Yes.
excess costs, yes. Now,
Yeah.
and their tuition is done. I can't necessarily say that it encompasses everything that we do. It's just the actual expenditures of supplies, or it's the general, whatever else is in there is like the general, what you see like on the CUP report, like administrative expenditures, like an aggregate, like these codes divided by this number of students in the district, so it's about whatever per kid. Now, is that the exact amount for each of those kids? No, but there's about 4 lines that are like building expenses for like like overhead basically. So those aren't specific to the student, but some of those costs are specific to the student.
Yeah, and I was actually going to address that later too, so that's good. Okay, so then, so the students on attendance plans, so what we did is we looked at last year's, only because of what we kind of just talked about at length there, about, we don't have a full year to look at. But those estimate about 45 minutes for an attendance plan, to write it, meet with the parents, call, all of that. And so there's another 53 hours, and that could be various members of our team. So that could be the counselor, the principal, I don't know who else attends. Attendance liaison, yeah, so it just depends, but,
Any teacher that would be involved with the student.
yeah. All right, so that's kind of like, just to give you an idea of what the human capital, if you will, is, and then moving into some potential staffing reductions. And the reason, again, we're having this discussion is because we're trying to find ways to save money, and, we believe in what we're presenting this evening is open enrollment is one consideration that we said to the state, so we at least had to do our due diligence, we feel, to provide the board with this information, and certainly what we do from here is yet to be determined, but looking at some potential staffing reductions, as I mentioned, there are 39 students with disabilities, and 25 are in secondary, and the remaining are in K-5, that actually is 6 through 12, 25 students in grades 6 through 12, I believe, and then 14 in grades K through 5. So that, we believe, while caseload numbers could be 3 teachers, but we don't believe that would be the case. We believe we could reduce at least 1, if not 2, intervention specialists. We would also look at, when we're looking at classroom sizes now for elementary, I've said this before, and we still haven't moved from this, which is there's some contractual obligations for kindergarten and first grade. We have to remain at 22 in a classroom or provide 2 hours of classified support. Grades 2 and 3, we try to stay around 24 students. Grades 4 and 5, around 25 students. There's no contractual obligation, but that is just what we commit to as a district, to try to stay within those bounds. And if we do, that those limits, if we're based on those limits, we believe we could also reduce 1 to 2 elementary students for 85 open enrolled students, which we know would be the equivalent of 4 teachers, but that's not how it works. It doesn't just fit that nicely. You can't just look at that number and take a divisor and have a mathematical problem, because students are distributed throughout the district. And then in grades 6 through 8, Mr. Oswald looked at that scheduling. He showed us some examples. I didn't share those with you, but he believes we could reduce 2 teachers. There's more discussion to come on middle school. That's 67 students. And then grades 9 through 12, the potential for reducing 2 teachers as well, with 95 students. If you look at there's 2 ways to look at it, and this is the part I added as I was thinking more about it. Ms. Stoykoy, and I'm going to turn it over to her just momentarily to talk more specifically about the funding, but we use a round figure when we're reducing staff and teachers particularly, and I did not include paraprofessionals in this. There also could potentially be some savings there, but we estimate if you're using the people who are retiring, because they're higher salaries and benefits, you could come close to $850,000. But if you want to look at the other end, the conservative, where our less senior teachers with less experience, maybe around 600,000. So there's a range there, that the savings of what we could save, and that would be, of course, cumulative over time. So each year we would incur that savings, which would help. And then
I have a question. If we've made a commitment to team teaching in our new middle school, so how would you reduce 2 teachers in grades 6 through 8?
So we will have some further explanation for you. We're just not ready to dive into that tonight. So if you just give us a little more time, we're in the process of working through some things on a middle school schedule. If you don't mind, we'll get back to you on
Would
that.
it change our commitment to team teaching?
No, no, not completely. There's modifications, but not teaming. Teaming would still exist, yes.
Complete team teaching.
Well, okay.
If it's not complete team teaching, I'm not going to support it. We made a very firm. We designed the entire building around team teaching.
I want to make sure we're using the right terms, though, because team teaching is like defined as 2 teachers in the same room. You're thinking pods and teams. I think is more what you're
Well, we
you're
put them
referring
on
to, yes.
teams. I mean, that's what we have.
Yeah.
We call it teams now. And they're not in the
Yeah.
same room. We call them teams. We put them on teams.
Yeah, I know when I hear team teaching, I think of 2 teachers in the same room, that's team teaching. But teams, yes, yes.
Okay. And then, why would we want to reduce more students in grades 6 through 12, knowing the issues we have already with the OFCC going into an elementary phase?
That's a good question. Yep, that's a good question and something you'd have to consider.
No, I'm asking
Yeah.
you.
Well, because okay, so what we have to be careful of, is we have to use the argument, we can't, we have some control of picking and choosing what grade levels, but it's based on space and availability. So you could, we can't determine at this moment is, because we haven't done our boundaries, is how many spaces we will or will not have in elementary. The challenge is if we continue to phase it out, like it'll be here for another, 13 years, 12 years. But we just have to be mindful of, if we reduce in elementary, let's say, I can't say that with certainty because I don't know what the numbers are. Where we'll have space and where we wouldn't have space. So, and this is why I have members of my team, because I said I might need to, punt when it comes to the middle school and high school scheduling, because it's a little trickier. Oh, Mr. Smith is here. I'm not putting you on the spot. So, yeah, I mean, it would just be something we'd have to dig into a little bit if we keep 6 through 12, but it's a very good point, I know exactly.
Because they used our open enrolled students in the
They did.
enrollment analysis, as well as the most recent one that they just did for us.
Yeah,
So we would be handicapping ourselves
well,
further.
to be honest, they would, I'm trying to think, no, they would just use 6 through 12 to determine that, because they look at your overall enrollment at some point in the calculations. So if you're cutting out elementary too,
But they used our open enrolled students when they designed our space for this 6-12
they
building.
do, but if you look at the numbers, like, and I can't say this with certainty, I'd have to research it, but it might be negligible, the 150 students, it's not gonna, like, they'll still fund 2 buildings, they're not gonna say, oh, we're only gonna do 1 because of those 150, but what it would do is, then force you, if that's the direction you go, to
Well, they
put
won't
more
fund-
kids into the 6 through 12 building.
They won't fund them until the building is full.
That's
That's our
right.
problem.
That's right. So you would be taking 150 more children and having to put them in the 612, if, provided this is what happens in with our enrollment.
And then it becomes a 5-12 and a 4-12
Oh,
and a
yes,
3-12.
yes,
We can't
yes.
do that.
It
so.
already is going to be a 4-5, without any changes to open enrollment, according to the state. Not saying that we want to do that. Yeah. Yep. So for all of you who are probably scratching your heads out there, it's the way in which the Ohio Facilities Commission funds schools. They want to fill schools first before they'll give you money to build new ones. And so what they're saying on our 612 campus, what they're projecting is that we will have 600 students less than what we did in, I think when they ran the numbers in 2019 to the time of 2029. So they're saying that you have to take 600 of your elementary students and put them into that building before they'll give you money for new buildings, which is why they're saying they'll only fund, and that's where Mr. Gomez is going with this, only fund 2 buildings. And that is a huge shock to all of us. That is not what any of us thought would happen. So, but you also have choices. If the community doesn't support that, you can also build a school on your own dime. So they love to tell us. But that also was, we're talking $40 million for an elementary school or whatever it may be, 30 million. So, yeah, that's a whole nother ball of wax. But you're right. That's definitely comes into play. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to turn it over to my partner here, Ms. Stoikoi. Do you want to look at my paper? Or do you have for your? Okay. All right.
Yep. So there's a couple of things to think about when it comes to the financial side of things. So as a history, if you remember, really why there was open enrollment to begin with was because it was a moneymaker based on the old formula. So we made between the number of students coming in versus the number of students going out, we netted probably about $1 million in revenue because it was outside of the formula. Because as they did it, it was you got funded for your resident students, and then outside of that, they did all this other stuff. If you had open enrolled, community school, all of that kind of stuff. So what would happen is, so for us, like, let's say we were getting funded $2,500 per resident student. Well, we were getting the tuition rate of $6,020 for open enrolled students. Now, the same was happening for open enrolled students out. We were paying $6,020 even though we weren't getting funded that much. But in the end, we netted probably about $1 million in revenue. When they changed the funding formula, they kind of stopped all this, like, okay, this is this, but then there's all these other changes. So now you just get funded for those students that are you're educating, not whether they're resident or not. It's whether they're educating. So when they, move that over, they kind of set those guarantees with all those other, the old formula, like, hey, we didn't lose like $1 million at that time. They kind of worked that in, and that's where we're at now with the guarantee. However, now that we're doing that, so let me say it. Let's start here. So we get funded, whatever it was, around a little under 2,500 per resident student, according to the formula. And then by 4 years from now, it's going to be down to like 800 per the formula. So the formula says, the cost to educate a student is like 8,200, something like that right now. However, that's not what we actually spend on students. So while it says that, and it says it's 8,000, your property taxes chipping in, less the 2,500, that's what the taxpayers are chipping in, and it's state funded. Us being on the guarantee convolutes it a little bit, because when you do that calculation, it doesn't equal to the maximum we're guaranteed. So then there's a big supplement to do that, so that's in there. So on that end, and then there's obviously more than just property tax, let's say, on the revenue side. It's not a lot, but we do have other revenue sources that come up with it. So per the report card, last year, we expend about $13,356 per student. Now again, that's the average. So that give or
What
take.
number do they use before they put the divider of students in?
For the report card,
Yeah, what's the numerator before the denominator of total student?
it's the total expenses for the district.
Okay. So that includes your salary, her salary, everybody's.
Correct. It's the total expenses, yeah. And then it'll tell you like what, portion of that is instructional based. I think ours is, if I remember correctly, we're pretty high up there for, how much of it is instructional. So obviously on average, but we mentioned we have X number of special education students. They obviously cost more. Some of them are in facilities, which cost us upwards of $100,000. Again, those are ones we get reimbursed for right now. That's kind of the other one. So as is mentioned in here, it's that cost per student includes those overhead costs. Like, we're not getting rid of utilities necessarily in that building because we don't have 5 students there. We're not getting rid of those kinds of things that we're paying operationally and those kinds of things. So if you just take that amount times those 279, which is probably a little on the conservative side, it costs about $3.7 million to educate those kids.
Isn't that on the liberal side to say it's 13,000? Isn't it an inflated number?
I'm not saying. I'm talking about it costs us that with the utilities.
With your salary and her salary and Kenneth's salary and Heather's salary? I mean, that's an inflated number, not a conservative number.
Not necessarily, because it depends on the population of those 279 students. So like I said, we have many that we're paying hundreds of thousands for, perhaps. And so we have some that we're paying probably a little less, yeah. And then if you take out, when I'm saying that, I'm not taking out necessarily those utilities, yes, but those overall That's what I wanted to look at here real quick, is just the,
All of our transportation costs are included in that 13,356, and none of these kids get transported by.
well, but we do pay for them if we don't offer them anything, we do have to pay for that to those parents, or we do have to bus if, it's, reasonable.
If it's an IEP, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Because if we offer, so if that, yes, that's.
Yeah,
that's
only
what-
if it's an
yes.
IEP.
Yep,
They just say operational costs in the report card I looked. It says, there's different sections. It says instructional, operational.
Like how they arrive at their 13,000.
In fact, I think I wrote it down,
I just- I don't have
utilities.
it in front of me, so I'm gonna pull it up here.
It says, instructional costs, salaries for teachers, pupil support, counseling, health services, and building operations. That's what the report card says.
So as it currently stands with that estimated 13,356, and we know it varies per student situation, all of that, how much are we getting reimbursed per student right now?
We're not really getting
I mean, I know,
any-
not reimbursed, but,
anything, so it's a little under 25, it's hard to say because of the guarantee being
Right.
in there, and so that guarantee just fluctuates based on the calculation minus what we're guaranteed to get. So it does fluctuate at time to time depending on the status of those students changing, where we're getting funded, whether it's, restricted, unrestricted, those kinds of things. So that guarantee, changes as you see through the forecast. It increases actually because as we have, a little bit less students, we have less restricted, funds because that state share index, is multiplied against that. And as that goes down, as you saw in the forecast, so does that. So the restricted, so then it moves to unrestricted at times, and it may fluctuate then that guarantee. So by the formula design, and this is where it gets complicated because it really, the state funding part doesn't necessarily really matter. It really matters what we're spending. Because they're saying it only costs us 8,200. Then they're saying they're gonna give us 2,500, but we're not just spending 8,200, we're spending 13,000 XYZ, and, so that's already $5,000 more than what they say it costs to educate a student, but there's numerous things in there, that are factored in. So right now it's 25, but if you remember, when we get to the end, we're down to the what the minimum is that they have to give us, which is 10%. It's under $1,000 a kid. But as long as the guarantee is still in place, and again, those are state budgets to come, that's not gonna actually be, we're gonna get some made up in guarantee. We're gonna get that difference made up in guarantee if things stay the way they are now. So it won't just be 800 per kid. They'll take that calculation and then they'll say, okay, but you should get this much, so what's the difference? And that's their guarantee amount to make us whole. So that fluctuates. So like right now, our guarantee amount is about over 4 million. So there is that, of the over 4 million, and it keeps growing, and it's gonna keep growing based on the way that the state has made the budget and not updated the input side for cost, benefit, salaries, benefits, but has updated the valuation. It looks more like communities have more wherewithal to have property taxes to cover all of that, and that's kind of by design. What we're looking at is the actual cost. Now, there are some things that we will, not receive as far as revenue, as we were talking about before, for that excess cost. Now, we probably get about $1 million in excess cost. However, not all of that is open enrollment. We do have court-placed kids. I would probably say at least 15 to 20 of the people that I bill for are court-placed, whether it's with a family member that are special education that I still back for. So we wouldn't lose the entire $1 million, we would, you know, lose maybe, 750, or depending on, you know, which students are which. I'd have to look into that, and again, it changes from year to year, just depending on who those students are and what kind of services, they require. There's potential for Medicaid reimbursements. However, because that's kind of an unknown quantity right now, I can't necessarily say, and yes, we would be losing it, but we don't really know what that's gonna look like yet, so it's hard for me to quantify exactly what that would be, because we haven't even gone through like the full cycle where they true us up. Since last year was that first year, we get interim payments, then we do a bunch of reporting, and then they say, okay, it actually calculated out to be this, we still owe you this amount of money. I'm conservatively estimating that right now, but we really don't know, what that's going to be in the future. So it's hard to say whether forecast-wise you would necessarily see a loss, because I don't know exactly what it's going to be when we, you know, do that, those true-up reports and things. Now the thing is that on the flip side, if these students are not here, we're not gonna lose any money. Now, we would lose, so technically in the formula, there is like once you go past the 10%, you know, that, and we've talked about that before. If there's less than 10% of, your open enrolled students from last year, then they give you a reduction. However, there's two guarantees in the formula, one of them being a transitional aid guarantee, so to kind of get you, like, if based on enrollment, so if your enrollment drops like that, so for instance, this year, it's like under $75,000 is what's considered lost from being over that threshold of 40 kids. So it's not those kids times the, you know, whatever it is, the 8,000 or the 13,000 or anything like that. It's actually, because of that transitional aid guarantee, it becomes pretty insignificant overall, in that. But that would be another, slight reduction, but it's a one-time thing. So it's a one-time in 1 year, and then you go back to your regular guarantee amount the next year. So it's kind of like a one-time penalty that they assess you.
How many students do we have that are resident K-12 in our district that choose to get educated elsewhere?
Like open enrollment out, or just
All.
all? I can tell you.
Yeah, it's on the report card.
I can tell you open enrollment. I know open enrollment because I have it right here in front of me. So open enrollment. Oh, no, I don't. I did.
I can also look for the report card. It's hundreds. In the report card, I'm just trying to find where it's under, I forget
I will tell you that, it does break it down. That 13,000 we're talking about, we spend about 9,600 on classroom instruction directly of that 13,000. And then the rest is considered non-classroom, which would be more of your overhead.
So, to summarize, it's very hard to quantify the exact amount that we're spending per student because of
Yeah, I mean,
all
you
of
could,
the different, or how much we're
Yeah.
getting, I should say, for the students.
Because if you look at it in a sense, you know, I'm saying I'm getting, even though there's a portion again that are court place, I'm getting $1 million in those costs, but you know, we're also, what they're also taking out, where we're kind of losing money in a sense there right now, is they're saying, we've already given you tuition for that kid. Well, really, when a new kid comes, we're not getting anything more. It's just reducing our amount of the guarantee. So if like a new student comes or a new student is identified as special education, they're saying, well, you already got counted for them as your, you know, regular tuition. And then the excess cost is what's above and beyond that tuition.
So the majority of the savings that you're estimating is from staffing
Yeah.
itself? Because it's very hard to quantify the other amounts
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
what we're spending versus what
Correct.
we're receiving.
Correct. So if you looked at just the instructional, cost here, let's say the 95, it's 95, 97. It's about a little under 2.7 million, based on this, on classroom instruction, for each of those kids, but we know that there's some more based on, you know, our special ed students and different things like that.
I have this information.
No.
So, Mr. Gomez, it's, students enrolled in other public districts through open enrollment is 379. And then it says, this is district and STEM schools. Students enrolled in another public district by means other than an open enrollment is 67. So that was 446 students. And then community schools, so they count online as a community school, so that's 106 students. And then site-based community schools, 71. And then they also put this dropout prevention recovery, which could be online or site, that's 61 students. But then they also look at then the non-publics, and this is where we talk about the vouchers. We have 13 in Ed Choice Scholarship, but then we have another 609 in Ed Choice Expansion Program. So that's 622. And then we have Autism and John Peters Scholarships for our special needs students is another 88. So, I mean, we're over 1,000 students easily, with, if you factor in, you know, the special education and.
So, in a world where vouchers could get ruled unconstitutional, we would have 609 students coming back to us, and we're saying we can't afford to educate 279 students. Then I have real concerns about all of this, because we're saying we can't afford these 279 students, and our funding wouldn't expand if we got those 609, really.
Well, it all depends, because if it's ruled unconstitutional, they would have to there would be a lot of steps of, where's that money, like, right now they're pouring over $1 billion into it, they're not, like, that would have to go somewhere.
Oh, they would be
It should go
upset,
back
they wouldn't
to-
they wouldn't, because they'd be mad.
But
Then we'd have 609 students, we'd probably still be on the guarantee with those 609 because of how many students we lost, and these 279 that we can't afford, we're only talking about them because of where they live. And so then, how would we afford those students? You get what I'm saying?
I do-
Where
I
I'm
do see
going
what
with
you're
this?
saying.
So
I
we're
don't-
just talking about students that are unaffordable, but those students would be unaffordable too.
I don't think I would necessarily say they're unaffordable, but what I would say is that obviously given our financial saving or our situation, that we could realize a savings in this area.
But in August, the board voted to adopt our statement of facts, which said, if the levy failed, we would need to accelerate the timeline of implementing a combination of the following options: reducing or eliminating open enrollment to the district, selling any current or future idle buildings or sites owned by the district, reduction of district staff through attrition. But the levy passed by 62%. So then why are we accelerating the timeline of implementing, reducing, or eliminating open enrollment to the district?
I don't necessarily, I mean, we're having a discussion right now, so I don't necessarily think we're accelerating it, but we are discussing it given, you know, as Dr. Selico said, that's what we put in our financial plan to the state, as part of it, that these are some options, just as if, you know, we don't have sale of the buildings necessarily yet, but we are, you know, we do have those kinds of projections in the forecast and, are trying to make that happen as well, sooner rather than later, just because of the fact that we've had other issues as far as insurance and things that, have happened. Now, again, I'm not saying it's unaffordable, but given the fact that we are ending on under $500,000 estimated right now, and then $200,000 in a few years, and talking about potentially, no matter what, having to put on a new money levy, I think it's a little more prudent that if there is a method that doesn't necessarily involve asking the taxpayers for as much, that we should explore that. And I think we're talking about potentially, next calendar year, having to do that with a new money levy in order to make sure that we stay solvent.
I think how you phrased it to me, Christy, was that, or Mr. McQueen, is that, we would be able to stretch the dollars longer.
Yeah, yes. That's essentially.
We can go longer.
Yes, we would be able to get away with perhaps a lower millage, or be able to push it out, potentially, to another year or two. But it depends on the staff, like what that time is that it would be pushed out, depends on a lot of things, not just this. But I think it could potentially be, extended a little longer than what we're anticipating right now, for sure. Or reduce what we believe that millage is gonna be needed, to stay solvent, to stay, up with current costs.
Well, what I didn't see in the presentation is giving the board credit for the action we took in revising our policy last year, which resulted in a reduction of 115 open enrollment students, and using the same math used in the presentation, a savings to the district of $1,535,940, and I think the board should be patted on the back for saving the district $1.5 million through the actions we took in policy. That's a major savings.
It is, yes. And without it, we would have been in a big problem at just going into this year, in that area. But we're still unfortunately, we're still in a, bit of a financial situation, even with that, which is where, where we're at the end of the day, unfortunately. And most of it through no decisions that anybody here made, but just things that are, we don't get really a choice in.
With the redistricting of the boundary lines and the closure of an elementary, will the open enrollment for K through 5 just naturally kind of follow suit, that would be very minimal due to capacity in our K through 5 building?
It's helpful in because, I forgot the number, 130 or 40, elementary students. I don't have it in front of me. Well, I probably do. It would help, it would definitely help reduce the building sizes, yes. It would, I think, as you saw in those, boundary numbers, those were not including open enrolled students. So you saw what numbers they got to, which some areas we were at capacity or close to in some of the buildings.
It's definitely under 100, because you only have kids
It's 80.
going into 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade
It's
next
85.
year.
Yeah, 85. That's for next year's numbers, I think.
And currently, I know some boards, even boards close to us have, I know that Stowe did, where they changed their policy for open enrollment to only districts that are adjacent to them. Don't want to assume, but I'm assuming that the majority of our open enrollers are in, because we touch Stowe and Woodridge and Akron, that the majority of our open enrollers are already from adjacent districts.
Correct.
to us.
Another thing to consider that does kind of skew that number a little bit is, if students are following a staff member that works here, those are considered open enrollment as well, but that's very few.
That was another part of the discussion in the session that I went to, was having those policies in place, if that's something that, if you're eliminating open enrollment, deciding what kind of policy you're gonna have for your staff, with their students too.
Do you have anything else to add? mentioned the loss of, or the excess funds for special education, Medicaid would also go along with that.
Thank you for all of this. Do you have any questions?
yeah,
I
I
didn't hear
would-
from.
I would like to go
Sure.
back to the test results. I don't think we really touched on that. The open enrolled compared to the resident.
Yeah, so that ranges from 7%, these were last year's scores, we're going back 2 years. So ELA was 7% difference and 12%, and so in the year 24 and 25, so there's a 7 and 12% difference. And then in math, in 24, 25, there was a 13% and a 16%, so there was 2 years of test scores there.
How does that affect our report card, I guess, is my question.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we would see some increases. I don't know, like, to what extent. I'd have to look at how many in each category, you know, because this is all students in every grade level, 3 through 12. So we'd have to really tease that out a little bit.
Mr. Schaefer, Mr. Harris, do you have any questions?
I have none myself.
I know we don't have this data, but I would be interested to know what the difference in these tests would be now that the students that had the chronic absenteeism are no longer in this cohort of testing, to see if that affected the test scores. As we know, attending school helps you learn.
Yeah, we would have to compare.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it can be done. We'd have to isolate, you know, those students, and we could do it this year, like, you know, look at them individually. And just to clarify something, going back, I don't know if I said this clearly enough or not. The number of students, the reason we don't hit, the number by grade level was for next year's. I'm sorry, I bumped all the kids up, the students up a year. I had asked Chris Shaw to do that. So this year, there's no kindergarten. Next year, when I'm looking at it, was K and 1. I was looking at next year's. So next year, you wouldn't have any kindergarten or first grade. Sorry.
So this year, there's no kindergarten.
Right.
So
So then
for-
next year when I
For
bump,
this
when I
26,
bump them up,
27,
yeah.
there's no one, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to put Mr. Elder on the spot, but with the estimated of hours and resources that have been spent, how many hours would you estimate that you spend on open enrollment? And I know that may be hard to quantify, but
No, I actually haven't quantified it.
Yeah. He does have that answer at his fingertips.
So, hours, days, usually. So, for me, just this summer, I, tallied up the time that I spent, with the open enrollment appeals, and it was quite a few days. It was over a month's worth of time in hours, on the phone, doing research, in the 4-year or 3-year span, plus districts, there are some that are very easy, plug and play, and there are some that require a great deal more work. So one of the challenges that we did have as a department is trying to not only quantify by role in the department on even one individual case, because there was so many variations of instances that we would have to look at to make a determination. So, but I would say, quite honestly, it was a good portion of the summer that I spent on open enrollment.
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, that results in a student being educated, which is our goal. Because I feel like we're missing the point that these are students in our district, and once they're in our district, they're just a black tiger. They're not somebody that doesn't live here. And I feel some sort of way, because I think we spend a lot of time tonight othering these families. And these are families, there are a lot of families that have been in our district for a very long time, that have done a lot to contribute to our district. And I feel some kind of way about how they were othered this evening.
Mr. Gomez, I feel the need, not to respond to what you're saying, but I would agree that that was one of the things that in our meetings and discussing this that we talked a great deal about. And so when given the task to even try to look at the things that go into enrolling a student, we were trying to not just look at it based on open enrollment versus resident students. We were just trying to essentially give a picture of what it would take from point A to point B for all of our students, and then from there kind of extrapolate that and try to make this more about, is there a possibility that what is happening could provide us with an opportunity at saving some money for the district versus whether or not we're comparing, an open enrolled student to a resident student, because I agree with you, that's not actually fair. I don't even know that you could really truly say that if we, did away with this particular situation, that it's going to result in my staff having more time to do something else. We couldn't even quantify that, so we were trying to be realistic when we had our conversations about, the makeup of the activities that went into what we would do for an open enrolled versus or an enrolled student period. And then pull out from there what that looked like in terms of trying to, quantify some level of savings for you all to be able to really take a look at and digest.
I appreciate that, and I know your intentions, Mr. Albert. But if an open enrolled parent listened to this night, they were told, you don't bring your kid to school, your kid is worse when they're at school, your kid doesn't learn like those other kids do, and our district can't afford your kid. That's what they're gonna hear. And I'm very troubled by that.
Well, I would say that the presentation is on open enrollment and with the different things that we need to look at. And those, there's statistics. It doesn't mean all. I have very close friends who have students enrolled in this district, and I know that they, are not people that would feel that way listening to it because it's statistics. And, we're not here to make decisions tonight. We're here to listen to a presentation and facts and all, take it and have it percolate. And if there's other information that we need to request from Dr. Selico, we can do so.
And just to be mindful of parents making choices, I believe other districts open enrollment in like January. Some are far earlier than us. So in fairness to those families, if we were to make any changes, I would certainly want to communicate that to them.
Can you remind us when our open enrollment dates?
April. April
I'm sorry,
15th through
taxing.
May, end of May?
May 31st.
Yeah.
That is a lot later than some other districts.
Yeah, we are. We've talked about moving it up because of that. Yeah. And to piggyback on what Mr. Alder said, and I'll move off of this, we on numerous occasions, I think, felt, had a difficult time remaining neutral because we care about every student that is in this district. And so as a result, it was very difficult. How many times did we preface something or say, well, this doesn't sound, we try to sound far more empathetic than facts and figures because we care about all our students no matter where they come from. But, it's hard to remain factual and bring, feeling into that. So we certainly had many discussions about the conversation as a whole. So if it came out factual, it's that it is a factual presentation, but not to say that any one of our students are less important than anyone, whether they live here or not, so.
Can I ask a question also? Has there ever been a time that this district has not had open enrollment?
It's been a while. But yes, at one time, but it has been a while.
I know that was I would say, I don't even want to put a time frame on it, but it's probably been a couple decades.
At least 20-some years, I think, yeah. I believe Dr. Holland opened it up to open enrollment, our district. I believe that was the beginning, but that could have been back in 2000 or something. I'm not positive on those dates, but I believe around there.
I'd just like to request if any changes are made to the administrative guidelines that support the policy on open enrollment, that they be distributed to the board.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. That brings us to item E, Treasurer CFO's Business Consent Agenda.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend that the Board of Education approve all items listed in the treasurer's consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Just the minutes from last time, and then our donations, a few. We've got some for the Black Tiger Family Center and one class at Richardson. So, thank you for those.
Any questions or comments?
Were those hand knit items?
Kathy does. She knits them.
Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Item F, Treasurer CFO's Business. Ms. Stokely.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend the Board of Education approve the October 2025 investment schedule and monthly spending report.
So moved.
Second.
All right. We'll look at interest real quick. So not quite as good as September, but it was still decent. Obviously, we have a little higher cash balances here. Those will start to dwindle back down, probably more to the July type here as we get into November and December. The general fund. So we ended October with about 6.7. Again, you can see we don't receive as much revenue there as we do in September and August and even July. And the same kind of holds true for the next few months. So nothing out of the ordinary here. Two other ones I want to point out is just one, and the athletics, I just wanted to point out that we've talked about this for a couple months. But now they are back with like a $40,000 balance. So October saw a lot of those, our home games at the new stadium, with a bigger turnout. So they actually had revenue of over $56,000 in October. October, which is much more than it's been in any years past there, so that is definitely good. So they are back where we thought they would be. And then just the food service, and
We're gonna ride that 40,000 kind of for the rest of the year.
well, they do still have basketball, but yes, it
Yeah, pretty
it
much.
builds them up. They do have basketball that will give them some revenue, and in the spring is where they really kind of gotta.
The December 30th basketball game will probably make them quite a bit as well, the farewell to Tom Jones Court.
And that will probably, I probably won't see that, well, it depends. Maybe I'll see some of that before, the timing on that, whether it be in December
Yeah,
or in
probably
January.
January.
So, but on the food service side, as you know, due to the government shutdown, there were some delays in our processing, in the processing of these payments, our reimbursements. So we did receive one in October to kind of cover the earlier months there, but we are still waiting for some others. So, you know, we're keeping an eye. I met with Chef Bill last week. Yes, I think it was last week. Just kind of, you know, going over it, making sure, you know, there was nothing either one of us were kind of missing here. We'll see now that the government has reopened and we're back on track, what we kind of look like here in the next couple of months over, and see where we're at. As you can see, you know, December tends to bring a bigger month of rebates. Sometimes those November ones are delayed because of the holidays, and so we don't get them both until December. So we're keeping an eye on it. I don't anticipate them ending in the red or anything like that, but it is something we're focused on going forward. It's Ohio.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Brings us to item F, treasurer CFOs. I'm sorry, we already did that.
Yeah, no, it was out of
order.
Probably when you put it, I switched it, but it,
Comments?
yes.
Your comments, okay.
Yes,
I was
it
like,
was out
why
of
is
order
that
earlier today. I
switched
switched
up?
it. I don't have much. I had a good conference over the last couple days down in Columbus. Got some ideas on a few things for a strategic plan that Patty still might join. We don't know.
Turn on. Not that one.
But enjoyed that and you know, seeing my colleagues, which you know we don't see each other that often, maybe a couple times a year here or there. I will not steal Mr. Harris's thunder, but there are a number of, you know, bills that have moved and gone forward. And just that, I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving, and stays warm. It's freezing in here. Why is it? Okay, sorry.
It was 10 million degrees, that's why.
So, that is all I have.
Thank you. Great, brings us to item G, Superintendent CEO's business, consent agenda, Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you. It's recommended that the Board of Education approves all items listed in the superintendent's consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. There's not much. Looks like I haven't done any work in a week. So we have a number of personnel items, some classified appointments there. We have some volunteers, a couple coach volunteers. We have leaves of absences, and then we do have one retirement. I thought maybe I'd get a suit and tie for this announcement, but I guess not.
We started already.
So Joe Bagatti
Preparation.
has given his retirement. So we're thankful to Joe and all the 10 years, I think you said, right? Is it 10 here? Yeah. Well, I won't say much more because I know Joe's an emotional guy and I don't want to put him on the spot, but we're thankful for all that he does and happy to have him as a member of our team. We'll embarrass you more later when the time comes.
And I may get you a cake that says The Godfather on it.
That's really bad.
questions or comments? Okay. Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Brings us to item H, Superintendent CEO's business. Dr. Selko.
Thank you. I'll be brief since we just met last week. I'll echo Mrs. Stoykoy's remarks about the conference and Thanksgiving, so there's that. I really thoroughly, I mentioned earlier, thoroughly enjoyed the Crucible. I was just enjoying every moment of it. It was very well done and really enjoyed it. We have I guess we won't be here before we won't meet again tomorrow night, we will, but that'll be for a work session, but our ribbon cutting will be taking place by the time, we meet, it'll be before our next meeting, so that's on December 6th, 11 o'clock, as a reminder. Can't believe it's gonna be December.
Quick.
know, I
My
can't
goodness.
It's been a long
And then I will just defer to others for this evening, so, thank you.
Thank you. Brings us to item I, board business. Item 1 is the offer proposal for Thomas Court and Schnee Learning Center. It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the offer proposals to sell Thomas Court and Schnee Learning Center.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I'd like to move to amend at the end of the sentence. I'd like to add contingent upon the city's acceptance of the tennis court property at no cost.
I'll second.
Say that one more time.
Contingent upon the city's acceptance of the tennis court property at no cost. Can I speak to my-
Yes.
Okay, so my reason for saying this is we know this has been, the future of the tennis courts has been a long-standing thing,
Yeah.
and I think this is our last moment to really have a little bit of push with the city. These are the two properties the city wants to buy. We need to assure that the city is gonna take ownership of the tennis court
Yeah.
properties, and I think we need to make sure that we get all three done at once.
Yeah, it's been trouble.
Yeah, I'm very grateful they're gonna purchase these two properties, cause we know we need the money, but they need to take the tennis court property that they had agreed to take as well.
Yeah.
I agree, that's what we
Fair.
Yeah. I think so too.
We need to take this off real estate agent Selico's list of properties.
Please. Yeah, and if I might just add, this is, for people who are listening or wondering what's happening here, this is not, this isn't necessarily a contract, we haven't gone under a contract yet. This is us, the board, accepting the proposal that the city has expressed interest in purchasing Schnee and that lot. So, once you give the okay, provided that's the route you go, and with that contingency, I'll let the city know. They would then draw up the paperwork, in their department, so.
I would agree, and I think that actually would ease Parks and Rec mind too, because they had expressed some concern about that tennis court property, and with the sale of the rest of the property that we will be doing for the high school, they had concerns about that possibly somehow getting incorporated. So I think for the city, that would also ease their side of things with the relationship as well, if we included that.
Perfect. So I'm clear, I was just capturing the language, so I'm clear, this is that the city takes the tennis courts?
Property at no cost. Which was always the agreement.
Yeah, it was.
Verbal agreement, we're just trying to get it in writing.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion?
We have to vote on the amendment.
Ms. Stokely, would you call the roll for the amendment?
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Any further discussion? Okay, Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye. Brings us to item 2, future agenda items. So we have a pretty heavy December 10th.
Yes, I can look that up.
You have
And then
Top,
we have Top Tigers.
Top Tiger,
I'm getting it
the
mixed.
Wellness,
Yeah.
We've already done.
Boundaries,
Mhm.
Miss Coco.
Yeah, I have Top
I don't need
Tigers.
to be on the agenda.
Yeah. Wellness,
We will
Boundary.
be, we're working on it.
Okay. Can you just repeat? I want to see. if
Top
I have-
Tiger,
Yep.
Wellness, Boundaries, and Miss Coco, cause it'll be her last meeting.
Yep, they're here in the staff award.
Mhm. And then
Do you have core teams?
does anyone have
No.
I got a,
committee reports?
yeah, I got a legislative one. If
I mean, we
anyone-
met a week ago, so I don't think we probably have a whole lot, but I know you do, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, and Ms. Stoik, I don't, if you have anything to add to this, please jump in. But House Bill 129, House Bill 309, House Bill 186, and House Bill 335, is that right? All were out of committee and possible vote, I believe this week, right? Yeah, this week. So again, 129, basically future levies will fall entirely on local taxpayers without rollbacks, raising costs for voters. That's the millage floor calculation. House Bill 309, the county budget commissions and property tax law. Again, that would empower county budget commissions to override voter-approved levies and local school board fiscal decisions. House Bill 186, reduce certain school district property taxes. Does not adjust, and Ms. Stoikoy, all this is, most of this information is from that OASBO stuff you sent over, so I appreciate that. Does not adjust the funding formula to account for the revenue cap, creating a double loss for districts, a loss in local revenue and a loss in less state aid there. And then House
Is
Bill.
that one a problem for us? 'Cause we're not on the,
Yeah, it's not because we're not on the 20
Well,
mil
not on the floor,
but
okay.
yeah.
I mean, we don't love it because we love public education. but
Right.
But it
it's
won't
not-
directly
yeah,
affect us
okay.
at this point in time.
So we'll take a little bit
Yeah.
off.
And then 335, House Bill 335 restricts, that's the limit inside millage revenue increase. That restricts natural growth that typically helps extend levy cycles, likely resulting in faster return for the ballot.
This does impact us.
Yes. And then, I don't even know, again, I just wrote this down here, I'm not sure, I had to leave, and I didn't get a chance to watch the rest of what they were doing in their session, but House Bill 485, this would force Ohio students starting in the 5th grade to watch an anti-abortion video, propaganda video, created by Live Action, which happens to be an extremist group. So there's that. And then Mr. Gomez said they're fast-tracking Senate Bill 34, which is the Historical Educational Displays Act, which requires, 4 of some of our founding documents to be placed within history and social studies classrooms.
Oh, it's
moving
all
forward.
4? I thought it was one of.
I thought it was 4, it has to be 4 of 12, Doc Magna Carta all the way to, but yeah, there's that as well, so. But yeah, just, it's kind of lame duck. They're gonna
They're calling it mini lame duck.
mini lame duck, tiny quack, so,
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
yes. You're welcome.
Okay, that brings us to item 4, comments. Mr. Gomez, you are up first this evening.
I was able to make it to the Veterans Day event at Lincoln. Did I say that last week?
Yes, but you
Okay.
can speak about it.
That's
again.
fine. I made it to All City Choir, which was wonderful. I had one complaint, but I already talked to Dr. Salco about that. I made it to the first half of the fall play. I couldn't stay for the whole thing. It was really impressive. And, Ms. Mihailov chose The Crucible because it was the second play she did since she has been teaching here. So her second year as the teacher who does the play, which was actually when I was a student here. So as I was sitting there, I was thinking of all the people I knew when I was in high school and what roles they were doing. So it's kind of really fun. But I have to tell you, this cast was much better. For real, Dr. Celico will verify, they were really good. And then Capital Conference was very good, and I brought back homework for people. I do have a video from Weather Wednesday that I want Mr. Hutch to show, but do you want me to do it at the end of everyone's comments?
No, I mean, you can,
Okay,
you can find
so, as you know, our students from Mr. Kelly's class at Lincoln were on Weather Wednesday. They had 4 spots, and this is the one that, Fox 8, posted. So I wanted to share that with you all. It's under 4 minutes.
And we learned what to do in an earthquake. Of course, we also learned that we don't really get strong earthquakes here in Ohio, but we do get them. They're just really weak, and a lot of times we can't feel them. But what we did want to do is we wanted to demonstrate how scientists measure the magnitude of earthquakes. And so what we have here is our very own seismograph. Now, of course, it's just going to simulate how scientists would measure the vibration of the earth to show the magnitude. But these are all things that I just had at home, and you guys can make your very own seismograph at home too. So what we're going to do is we took our big box. We also have a cup. We've punched a hole in the bottom of the cup, and we've also taken string and connected our seismograph to the top of our box. So now what we're going to do is we have a Sharpie marker somewhere around here. We're going to open it up, and we're going to stick the Sharpie through the center of that cup. So let's see, squeeze that on through there. All right. And what you got to do is you've got to weigh down your cup with some rocks. Anything that you have will work. If you've got rocks, some sand, something that just has some weight, magnets, really anything will do the trick. But I have some rocks laying around at home. So what we will do now is we will put our rocks into our cup. And the reason for that is we need to create some weight in the bottom of it, right? Okay. So we got some rocks in there. Perfect. And we've also got our pen, so it's already starting to make some marks. So next what we're going to do is we need somewhere to feed our nice long, can you guys hold up our piece of paper, show everybody what we made? We made these nice long sheets of paper, and so what we're going to do with that is feed it through underneath of our pen. All right, so let's go ahead and cut a hole in there, or at least just a slit, so we can feed through our paper. We'll do it on both sides. Let's see, where did those bigger scissors go that we had?
See Mr. Kelly run out.
Caught a slit right through this side as well. Thank you very much. And next up, we're going to take that piece of paper. Would someone want to bring me that piece of paper over here? Thank you so much. All right. And I will take that end. You want to hold the other end over there? All right, let's slide it into this little slit right there. See if you can fit it in there. Perfect. Oh, we'll make that hole just a touch bigger. And then once we do this, we're going to shake the box and move the paper along, just like a real seismograph that scientists would do. And what it will show us is, or it should show us, right, is the more that the box shakes, the more wiggly the lines will become on our seismograph. So we slid it in there on each side, and now we're going to go ahead and pull it through, right? So let's start it there. Pull it through, and it's pretty straight at first, but eventually, if I shake the box, we start to get some movement on the paper. So let's go ahead and pull this up so you guys at home can see. So we started off with a pretty straight line, and eventually, as the box started to shake, or the earthquake started to happen, we started to get a wigglier line. So we're going to go around and we're all going to shake the box and see if we can get this earthquake to start moving. And we're going to see how swiggly we can get our seismograph. Sound good, guys? All right, back to you guys.
So what a great opportunity for those kids in Mr. Kelly's class. And on the first spot, and I didn't even have enough time to record it with my phone this morning, they all yelled Black Tiger Pride, so that was really cool.
That's cute.
But you know those kids are gonna remember that.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
For all their careers, so.
That's cute.
Thank you.
It's a long segment.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that today. That's great. Mr. Harris.
Just another congratulations to our top Tigers, our staff star and Friend of Education awardees, our honorary diploma recipient, all great things this evening. Mr. Gomez, again, congratulations. Yeah, Capitol Conference was fantastic. I had fun down there. It was actually nothing against OSBA. I don't mean this as a slight, but it was my favorite Capitol Conference in terms of sessions. I think it was, I got a lot from it. So I'm looking forward to, and I won't bug you guys just yet, Mr. Hutch, I attended a few AI things, and Dr. C, I have some ideas for Business Alliance Council as well. So I will get with you guys on that. I hope everyone has a happy and safe Thanksgiving. I just want to, if you are able to help folks out just through the holiday season, it's been a very difficult time for a lot of folks, just, right here in our own community, in our own backyard, our neighbors. So if you are able to do, just give a little bit more to our own family center, just do so. I implore you to do that, because there are a lot of people out there hurting right now. We don't do this a lot, and I don't think we ever have, but it has been a marathon of school board stuff for all of us. We have just been busy. So I just want to say thank you to our families, especially my wife, who's been dealing with a sick kid at home and having to put him down by herself and stuff. So it has not been easy for our families. We've been very busy. We're doing the work and everything, but we do thank them for holding down the home for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Mrs. Schaefer?
It has kind of been a marathon, hasn't it? We've been pretty busy recently. Capitol Conference really was great. I attended a few really good sessions. We had one of the big session at the end with was it Layla Eileen? I was excited to hear her speak and meet her. I was not expecting to be as inspired by her as I was. I was very much inspired by her. We got to meet her at the end, and I just got to tell her how inspirational she was. So, a very physically strong woman and mentally strong woman, and an inspiration. And it was a great way to end the conference. So I had a great time, and I saved a lot of PowerPoint presentations that I might be sharing with you all in the next 2 weeks. So.
Thank you, Mrs. Schaefer. Ms. White?
Just congratulations to everyone and happy Thanksgiving.
And I don't have a lot. Like everyone said, the Capitol Conference was great. And Mr. Harris, I agree. These sessions were, I got a lot out of these sessions. And I'm like, of course, not that I didn't out of the other ones, but I'm like, it's my last Capitol Conference, and here we go with all these great sessions. So I got so much. But Mr. Hutch, the one was OHAIO. It was a great one. Yes, I thought you would appreciate that.
It's your last for now.
It's my last for now.
You're taking a break.
I'm taking a break. It's my last for now. Track. So taking a break.
Carrie and I keep
But
telling her you're taking a break.
Just a break.
It was very informative and a lot of great things to bring back. And, I appreciate the fact that all of us, it seems, sometimes Mr. Harris and I end up crossing paths in sessions just because we do. But it's rare that we end up in the same ones. And I think that speaks to the strength that this board has had, that even our passions and our interests within the district and what we do are all a little bit different, and we bring a little bit something different to the table. And that always seems to showcase itself when we go to things where we get to choose what we're attending and what we're listening to. So, Mrs. Schaefer, please share, and everyone else, sessions, if there's things, please share with the rest of the board, because it just seems like that's what we always do. So.
And we brought our newly elected member,
Yes,
and I
yes.
think we only overwhelmed her this much.
But I hope everyone has a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And, well, we will see each other again before Thanksgiving tomorrow as well. But that is all. And then we're on to item J, executive session. Pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22 G1, it is hereby moved that the board adjourn to executive session to consider the discipline of a public employee or official.
A second.
Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye. Entering into executive session.